just like to go on record and say it's a lot of tussling going on out here. Like people walking and biking, that's cool, but the squirrels are fine. But all this tussling has got to go. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had a whole 30-minute video recorded, and she stopped. Well, first off, let me check. Y'all, I had a whole 30-minute video recorded. Anywho, so we're at the park. This is the this is park conversations. So don't know if it's gonna be a series, but I just kind of felt like coming to the park today. The weather's pretty nice, and I feel like it'll be a good place to have this conversation. So I wanted to talk to you guys about really like people my age, people younger than me, and people like a little bit older than me. But I really wanted to talk to y'all about having a relationship with God. I feel like we're in a time where it's confusing because it can feel like daunting, and it can feel like when you hear it sometimes it can be overcomplicated. And so I just wanted to address some misconceptions and also just like simplify what relationship with God looks like. So yeah, one misconception would be that you have to be perfect to be in relationship with him. In reality, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. We're all imperfect. We all have our flaws. That's just fact of the matter. We're human. And I feel like, especially for like people my age, I'm 25, but like people my age, I feel like sometimes we can think, well, dang, I done did all of this, or I'm too far gone, or there's no turning back for me, right? And y'all, that's not the case, man. I've thought that to myself a lot too. I just kind of felt like I've always known God, but I feel like I've just truly been in like this relationship with him starting in probably like 2017. Before it was just routine, like get up, boom, pray, go through the day, at night, boom, pray, go to church. Like it was routine. But like I feel like now I'm truly talking to him and seeing and honestly just applying like what a relationship is and learning to do that with him. And it's been a beautiful thing. But one of the things that I had to address was like I would stay away from God because I felt like I was thinking all of these things and doing all of these things and he didn't want to talk to me, or what's the point if I'm doing all of this. And once I realized that it takes even more courage to explore relationship with him when thinking that than it does to, not courage, y'all, but it just it speaks a lot. There we go. It says a mouthful when you're able to do that in the midst of thinking those things, right? And I just wanted all like my young people to know, because I know we like, y'all, we got a lot going on, and at the end of the day, baby, we all just out here trying to make it. But you don't have to be perfect. The misconception of perfection in every area of life is it can take you down a road that you just don't want to go down, and you're thinking that, oh, I gotta do this way, I gotta live this way, I gotta do this and do this and do this. Like we see perfection as a prerequisite to a relationship with God, and that is not the case. If God knows you, if anything, he wants you, I really believe that he wants you to come to him in your imperfection, because that is how you're made whole. None of us are whole. All of us are broken in some kind of way. And the only way to heal that truly is to be in relationship with him. But you can't even honestly progress without being in relationship with him, because if you're striving towards a perfection that you'll never reach, don't think that you have to be perfect or you have to have these boxes checked off to to get up one morning and say, okay, I've done all of this. Now I can be in a relationship with God. Truly just give him you, imperfections and all. Another thing is that we have to stop thinking that like God and people, like how we operate, is the same. God's ways, you always hear the verse that says God's ways are higher than ours and his thoughts are higher than ours. When you get into a relationship with him, you really see how that is true. you really see it. But yeah, a lot of times we put how people treat us, or we see God as, or we see people as a reflection of how God is and who he thinks we are. Yes, we're meant to be vessels. Yes, we're meant to be made in his image and to be a reflection of him. But when we reflect something or do something to people that's bad, or when people do stuff to us, we go to God like, oh, so is this what you think of me? Or oh, what's the point of me being in a relationship with you if you're just gonna have these people treat me this way? God has given everybody free will, and I'm guilty of it too. I don't always exercise that free will to the best of my ability, but it's unfair to put that on God, the things that people do to us because of what they did by exercising their free will. When you separate God from people, it helps to process offense, rejection. Like, it helps to process all of the negative things that are associated with the behavior of people. And it helps to gain understanding, and it helps you to see his goodness even more, because you then see how we all are still imperfect, and you learn how to have grace and mercy for people and even yourself when you inflict things on yourself, or when you do something bad to somebody, sometimes even if you didn't even have that intent, right? Or when other people do it to you. Being in a relationship with him helps you to see it from a different vantage point. You say, okay, Jada, I heard you with all that, but where do I start? And I want to address it from a general aspect. So whether you've known God for a long time, whether you've known him for a short period of time, or whether you're curious to know him, or whether you don't even believe in him, you're watching this video and you don't even believe in him, but you may be thinking like, okay, where do I start? And the biggest tip I could give you, and just honestly the biggest guidance that I would give you, would be to just talk to him. Talk to him. When you talk to God, a lot of things about him, yourself, and life in general, relationships, work, career, purpose, a lot of, if not, well, I'll say a lot of it, because most of it is revealed in his word too, but a lot of it is revealed just by having conversation with him. And so I will honestly just say, talk to him. If you don't know what that looks like for you, I would say, even if you say, God, if you're real, for somebody who doesn't believe, or somebody who may have had a traumatic experience and believed before and now they don't, because that happens too, y'all. Say, hey God, if you're real, please show me, or will you reveal it to me? And I don't want you to think either that the if you're real is an insult to him, because it's not. One thing that I've learned that God will always do, and one thing that God always stands 10 toes down in, is proving himself. God does not mind showing you who he is, especially if that means you're going to get closer to him. That's what he wants, right? And so don't think the God, if you're real, is an insult. That is your heart posture at the time, because you're probably genuine. You probably genuinely are unsure, and you want to know, or you genuinely just may not believe it in that moment. So that is your genuine mindset in that moment, and trust that he knows that. And if you don't believe him, or if you once believed him, let me tell you that he knows that. And so don't think of that piece of that statement as an insult. And I believe that when asked with a heart of sincerity, and when asked with an open heart and mind, I 100% believe that God will show you, and I know that he will. um, for those who may have fell off, or for those or for people who may have fell off a little bit, like you just feel like you're just going through the motions, and like you feel like you're just back in routine, and you just are trying to deepen your relationship, I would say to ask him, or to pray, hey God, I know I haven't always been the most diligent, the most disciplined, and I know that I only come to you when I feel like it or when I need you, but I really want to be in a relationship with you. Will you show me how to do that? For those who know him, you a vet out you, and you just want, again, to have a deeper relationship with him, ask him, God, show me. I always like to pray, God, show me your face, show me a different side of you, a different aspect of you. Because the thing about having a relationship with God is, like any relationship, it is a journey. Um, and there are always new things that God reveals to us in different seasons of our lives about him. And so I believe if you say those different things, no matter what situation you're in, he will show you. And the good thing about God, y'all, and just being in relationship with him, and the reason why I wanted to address those misconceptions is because there are a lot of benefits to being in relationship with God. No, your life won't be perfect, but you learn how to navigate. What? You learn how to navigate the imperfect spaces of life with him in it. And so I think when you understand what that looks like, and when you see what that looks like, and when he begins to reveal to you what that looks like, it makes life a lot easier. And so I would recommend just talking to him. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give. That's what's worked for me. But I also feel like if you didn't, respectfully, if you didn't grow up in the church, you may not feel comfortable. You may not know where to go or where to start in the Bible, or you may not have a church home yet, or you may have church trauma. That's a thing too. Um, you have your voice, you have your mind, you have your heart, and that is more than enough access to him. You just have to exercise it and reach out to him and speak to him and ask him. Um, but the beauty of being in relationship with God is he's perfect. He is perfect. The best way I could put it, imagine being in like your ideal relationship, right? Um, and you just think it's like, oh, perfect. Imagine that, and then escalate it to like perfection. That's what I feel like being in a relationship with God is. You're in a relationship with somebody who is perfect, who can do no wrong, and on top of not doing no wrong, God never changes. Never. So you know he's always good. You know his grace and mercy is always there, right? But you also know that in him there's safety. And the biggest thing that I would say too, imagine being in a relationship with somebody that could never fail you. Could never fail you. And on top of that, forgives you every time you do something wrong, or every time you do something that offends them, every time they may say, every time they may tell you to do something and you don't do it, they forgive you like that every time. Like as soon as you ask for it, as soon as you say I'm sorry, as soon as you say I apologize, or as soon as you ask for forgiveness, right? Like instantly. I get insulted. I'm still working on like how to process like being still learning how to process offense, right? And so process told you enough in itself. Like for me, it takes time depending on it. Like some things I can forgive instantly. Other things, like forgiveness is a process. That's a whole nother video. But imagine somebody doing it at the blink of an eye. That's what a relationship with God is like, bro. And that's probably the biggest thing that's crazy to me, because I know I can get trifling, and God just is so good in his forgiveness. And on top of that, like being in relationship with him and knowing that he wants the absolute best for you in everything. Oh, He wants the app. Y'all, I'm focused. I'm focused. Okay. How about this? Okay. Imagine being in a relationship with somebody who wants the absolute best for you. Even when you mess up, or even when you take um, a different path, or even when you're on the wrong path, even just when you're trying to make it out here in life, you're in a relationship with somebody who wants the absolute best for you. That is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. And not only that, but like can help you get there and knows what you need to get there. That is crazy. And so that's the beauty of being in relationship with him. And another beautiful thing is like it makes life doesn't get perfect, but it gets more bearable to navigate through. Nothing in life is going to be perfect. That is a fact. But when it becomes more bearable and just easier to navigate through because you have him, that is what it's all about. That is the guarantee. The guarantee is that, yeah, I may be going through this, but I know God is walking with me in it. And you just have this companionship that's like to where you just innately know that he's with you. Even when you don't have the best day, he can feel that too. And that is truly a beautiful thing. And so I just want to encourage y'all. Yeah, it gets hard, but it helps to be in a relationship with God. Trust me. Even if you didn't grow up with a church background, if you didn't grow up going to church every Sunday, if your parents didn't have a church background, don't think that exempts you from being able to ask God. No matter your background, no matter what you did, you can have a relationship with him and just open yourself up to talk to him. That is the biggest advice I would just say, to talk to him, because once you talk to him, we have this don't think you have to know the Bible leather to leather. Like you got to know from Genesis to Revelation and then have a relationship with him. Don't think you got to be this big prayer warrior to be able to have a relationship with him. Don't think that you have to find a church off the bat to be in relationship with him. Yes, I believe it is important to have a healthy church home. But if you don't know how to navigate that yet, don't think that you can't start because you don't have those things. When you talk to him, God will raise your curiosity for him. And you'll begin to ask, well, God, I wonder what you think about this. Then you start raising an eyebrow. I wonder what the Bible says about this. And you start to chip away at certain scriptures and memorize certain scriptures, and then start to get a little bit more in depth. And then you ask, I wonder what different interpretations of this look like. So you start looking for a healthy church home, right? You see how that it creates a positive domino effect. And that all starts with what? Talking to him. You don't get to know somebody unless you talk to them. You don't begin to know their likes, their dislikes, what makes them tick until you talk to them. You don't develop a deeper appreciation for them until you talk to them and see what they're truly about and what being in a relationship with them truly entails. And that is the major premise of being in a relationship with God. The more you talk to him, the more he reveals himself to you, and the more he leads you to look at different things that will help guide you into being and strengthening your relationship with him. And so I just want to encourage y'all, like, no matter what stage of your faith you're in, whether you have all the faith in the world or none at all, but you want to have a relationship with him, you can do it. Just talk to him, man. You can do it, okay? Promise you can. I'm gonna put I thought about setting up a Google number, but if I don't have the Google number set up, you won't see it in the description. And if I do, you'll see it in the description. But I'm gonna put my socials down in the description too. And if y'all want to leave a comment, that's fine. But if y'all got any prayers, or even if y'all want to help other people on what you did to help you in your relationship with God, and just some things that you think could help other people, put those in the comments, or send them to me. And if you have prayer requests, you can either put them in the comments or send them to me. I want us to create a community of brotherhood and sisterhood, and just a family for God's kingdom. And I just want to encourage y'all and let y'all know that, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. It's a being in relationship with God is worth it. So worth it. And yeah, I just wanted to, that was on my heart, especially for like my young folks, my young bucks, no cap. But I wanted to really express that to y'all, and I hope that this helped. And if you know anybody who may need it, share it with them. And yeah, like I said, I just want us to build a community of transparency and honesty and just love for God. And that starts by being in a relationship with Him and just being just open. And so, yeah, Mindful Moments will be dropping. I'm gonna make a playlist for podcast stuff and then a playlist for like vlogs and stuff. So yeah, I'm about to get out of here, y'all. It look like it's about to rain. So